good morning from a very chilly and rainy morning outside of my RV. So why am I speaking to you out here? Well, the reason why is because I am about to work out within my intermittent fasting window. And if you don't know this already, there is a ton of debate on whether intermittent fasting is good for adrenal fatigue, and that's exactly why I'm doing this video. I've actually spoken about this too on my Instagram, so go make sure you're following me there if you aren't already. And while I'm off for a short trip to Victoria, BC to go to a co-working space over there, I figured I'd squeeze in this video to help you understand what you need to know about intermittent fasting, especially if you struggle with adrenal fatigue. In the meantime, I am going to finish drinking my Swiss Cacao Ketones, which I absolutely adore. It helps me to maximize my workouts, and I find that it helps to suppress my appetite, which makes my intermittent fasting window a whole heck of a lot easier. Ooh, it's coming down. And look at me. I think I only said the F word about 137 times. All right, so should you fast if you have adrenal fatigue? Well, the answer is it depends on a whole host of factors. So a bunch of you guys who follow me struggle with burnout, right? Well, before I go any further, I just want to remind you to download my free Adrenal Fatigue Repair Kit, where you will end up getting your energy back in, no joke, as little as 7 days. In fact, if you do not end up following what I've outlined in that repair kit guide, you're really gonna struggle with intermittent fasting. So make sure you go grab it by clicking the link in the description of this video. Fact: women's hormones are susceptible to metabolic distress. Longer fasting windows can wreak havoc and prevent ovulation, menstruation, fertility, and even sleep. While women do have to be careful, time-restricted fasting for anywhere between 12 to 16 hours can actually be quite helpful for weight loss, lowering inflammation, and increasing longevity. The timing will depend on you and your body, so I always suggest that women test out shorter windows at first to find out what works best for them. Many women will often find that longer intermittent fasting windows between 16 to 18 hours is easier in the first half of their cycle when their body is in more of the rest and digest state, and when their metabolisms are a bit slower. But always test what's right for you and start slow. Whew. This is a part of my videos you don't normally see. While there is debate on what breaks your fast, I often suggest to women to add in a fat-fueled drink like a matcha latte. So I made a buttered matcha in my previous YouTube video here on my channel, and the idea here is if you use MCT oil, stands for medium chain triglycerides, in your buttered drink, it will help the ketone bodies better get into the cells. It ushers them in for better fat adaptation. Oftentimes when I'm working with women who are struggling with adrenal fatigue, my recommendations is to adjust to a shorter fasting window like 10 to 12 hours, even in the second half of your cycle, when the body goes more into a sympathetic fight or flight state. You cannot show up the same way throughout your cycle, and that goes for your fasting window as well, so adjust as needed. And here's something to consider. How you eat during the day when you aren't fasting will actually affect your fasting window. I mean, think about it. If you're eating high carb as your last meal, then your blood sugar is going to be completely unregulated, making your intermittent fasting a heck of a lot harder. All right, you want to go for a walk while we wait for the ferry?
No. Yeah, I do. I always go for a walk.
Okay, let's go. The reason I bring this up is because it's also been said that intermittent fasting can increase cortisol, the hormone released in response to stress. But my answer is that, well, it depends. Your lifestyle choices also greatly matters. How are you showing up throughout the day? Are you sacrificing yourself to enable and appease other people? Maybe you're not getting enough sleep. Are you glued to your phone at night? All right, so here's the thing. Being glued to your devices will have a negative impact on your circadian rhythm, which will then have a negative impact on your intermittent fasting window. So if you want to find out a little bit more about what the circadian rhythm is, go check out my morning routine here on my YouTube channel. So remember, when it comes to answering the question, is intermittent fasting right for someone with adrenal fatigue? Remember that context is everything. This is why before you take on intermittent fasting as some sort of magic bullet, please make sure that you do the foundational work required, which is exactly what we do in Sexy Lady Balls, my hormone membership program. Benefits of intermittent fasting include a drop in insulin levels, which facilitates fat burning, removing waste from cells for cellular repair. It can increase your metabolic rate, helping you burn more calories. It can reduce inflammation. It's good for your brain since it increases brain-derived nootropic factor. Okay guys, are you ready for a slumber party at the hotel? Are you ready? Are you ready, buddy? Yes. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, so I've checked into the hotel. The boys are already over there right now, and I am off to Quench, which is a co-working space here in Victoria, BC. But before I go, I want to be able to leave you with some tips and tools on how to actually do intermittent fasting, how to make it a little bit easier if you've got adrenal fatigue. Number 1, if you're new to intermittent fasting, start with a shorter fasting window, like 10 hours. Number 2, drink lots of water with a pinch of sea salt to help you efficiently hydrate. You should be drinking half your body weight in ounces of water per day. Number 3, consider drinking ketones to help suppress your appetite and amplify your fasting effort. Number 4, if you're struggling, consider adding a buttered drink and pay no mention to the fasting police. Number 5, make sure you're eating a higher fat and low carb diet throughout the day and getting 30 grams of protein for your other 2 meals. As reference, 3 ounces of ground beef is 24 grams of protein. Number 6, reset your circadian rhythms and really concentrate on reducing stress and having proper sleep hygiene. Number 7, once you've gotten your feet wet, test out longer fasting windows like 16 hours during the first half of your cycle and shorter ones around 12 hours during the second half of your cycle. Okay, you, that is it. I hope that was helpful. In the meantime, I'm gonna jam out live on my laptop right now, but I want to ask you for a favor. If you dug this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, let me know what you thought, share it, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And there's a little notification bell that you can click on. That way you get notified every single time that I put out a video every Wednesday. Until next time, see ya.